Hello and welcome to episode 8. Forgive yourself so you can reach your goals. I'm going to say that again. Forgive yourself so you can reach your goals. Ooh, this is going to be a great episode for any of you who have actually set a goal and not achieved it. Let's all raise our hands because that's happened. So I'm excited to talk with you about that today. But before we dive in, I want to share a note that I received from Jenny, who had participated in my self-guided coaching program. So when someone joins a program or joins a coaching program with me, I ask them if they would be willing to share some feedback at the end. This helps me to ensure that I am putting products out there, coaching programs and services that are actually helpful to people. And I appreciate getting that feedback. So people tell me what they liked, what they need more of. And I want to share this email that I got from Jenny. I loved participating in Kathy's self-guided coaching program. This program helped me to make small changes over time by being accountable. Kathy was extremely encouraging and motivating. I loved the flexibility I had by being able to watch and listen to her modules any time in the day that worked best in my schedule. The GroupMe app was terrific for allowing me to communicate with Kathy and other members. I am grateful for the small steps I've made, which will eventually lead to big results, thanks to this program. So thank you, Jenny, for that feedback. And I'm so excited in your progress, and I look forward to having you in future programs. Okay, forgive yourself so you can reach your goals. We are in the middle of the series on taking the right kind of action. If you're new to the podcast, we're all about the 3 steps to take so that you can feel a little healthier and a little more balanced in your own life, whatever that means to you. So step 1 is take the right kind of action. Step 2, check your thoughts. And step 3, get accountability and support. So we take these 3 steps over time. And I'm doing a series of episodes on each step. And right now we are in the series on taking the right kind of action. So we've talked about setting specific instructions, starting small and breaking down your goals, keeping track, making your goals work for you, making them pleasurable, setting up accountability to others and then to yourself. And this week we're talking about forgive yourself. Forgive yourself so you can reach your goals. We're going to get real here in this episode. When we are trying to make changes in our life, whether that's in some area of our health, like we're trying to eat healthier, maybe we're trying to get more sleep, maybe we're trying to exercise more, maybe we're trying to lose a little weight. When we're trying to make these healthy changes, we will come up against obstacles. It's just a fact, people, right? We will come up against obstacles. When we're trying to feel a little more balanced in our life, or if we're trying to work on feeling less stressed or have a little more work-life balance, whatever that means to you, if we're trying to get more organized or start a new hobby, whatever that might be, when we're trying to make these changes, we will come up against obstacles. Doing something new, changing our thought patterns, trying to adopt a new habit, trying to do a new action, whatever our change is. So you think about whatever that change you would like, whatever that change is, it will not always go smoothly. Even if we are doing the quote right things that Kathy tells us to do on the podcast, it will not always go smoothly. Even if we are taking small steps that are pleasurable, even if we are breaking down our goals, even if we are in a coaching program, we're going to face obstacles. Learning how to show up and be accountable to ourselves, even when life gets messy, even when we face obstacles, is important, because life will get messy. We will face obstacles. We want to take these changes, this whatever we want to do in our life, we want to make these changes in the middle of our real lives, right? Not just when we have the time, or not just when things in our life are going well, but when things are not going well. We want to still be able to have this balance in our life. We are human. So remember that when we're talking about living a healthier, more balanced life in general, we're talking about that being our default, these healthier habits, but that it's not going to happen 100% of the time. We're not talking about striving for being perfect. Sometimes I think we set ourselves up for failure by not acknowledging that we will have obstacles along the way. We will have obstacles that are in our control, and we will have obstacles and circumstances that are out of our control. The key is, how do we respond when we face these obstacles? How do we react when we, quote, veer off of our diet or whatever it is? How are we talking to ourselves when we face one of these obstacles and we don't follow through? So I have faced obstacles as I build and grow this coaching business. I feel like I'm a really good coach, and I love coaching people and delivering my programs, and my clients have success. So I am 100% convinced that I can help people get results. I know I can. However, building a business around that, I am facing obstacles. I make mistakes in growing my business. Oh my goodness, I've made so many mistakes in growing my business, like in marketing and in the sales piece and building a website and doing business cards. I just messed up on some business cards last week. So how do I respond to these obstacles? I forgive myself. I don't make excuses, but I forgive myself. I get curious about, what went wrong and how can I set myself up for success the next time. I get coached myself. I have accountability and support. So we will face these obstacles. You will face obstacles, right? You know that. You already have. You can think back to times where you've tried to make a healthier change or change something in your life and you faced an obstacle. How did you respond? So sometimes we get in our own way, and that's our obstacle, but sometimes it's life circumstances, right? So maybe we didn't follow through with our action for the day or the week or whatever. When this happens, I'm not saying if it happens, because at some point it will happen. When this happens, we need to forgive ourselves for not doing it. Or forgive ourselves for not showing up to listen to the module. Or forgive ourselves for not going to the gym 3 times that week when we said we would. Or forgive ourselves for, eating the low energy foods. Now, we don't keep making excuses for not following through with our actions. That's why we need some coaching and accountability and support, the right kind. But we forgive ourselves. We don't start the negative talk, right? You know what I mean? The drama in our brains, the shame, the guilt. We are responsible for our actions and our outcomes, and we can release these old stories, right? They're different for each of us, but these old stories might sound like, oh, I never stick to things. Oh, I'm so mad at myself for eating that. Or I'm so mad at myself that I didn't do that. I'm never going to blank. I'm a failure. I can't do this. You know those negative thoughts that come. You've got your own way of saying them to yourself. Sometimes we take one or two obstacles or little missteps that we've had, whatever, and we make it mean more than it needs to mean. And then over time, we develop this well-worn story, these beliefs about our inability to follow through, and we don't forgive ourselves. And I've gone down that rabbit hole again with my business, like I've said, where I've almost just given up, even though I know I can help people. But the business side of it and all those things, sometimes I get into that negative self-talk. And I don't get curious about what got in the way and what I can do. I just go right to the judgment, right to this is never going to work. So if we want to develop new habits, if we want to take simple steps to healthier, more balanced living, whatever that means to you, if we want to continue to repeat the actions that will get us closer to our goals, then we need to forgive ourselves if we face an obstacle, if we don't follow through, especially when we're at the beginning of trying to do this new thing, when we're at the beginning of this new goal, because that's likely when we're going to have these missteps. Our brain and our body and our habits, we're not used to doing this new thing. Now, we don't just excuse it, we get curious about it. Oh, I said I wanted blank, but I did blank anyway. I can choose a different way to respond the next time. I can see how to avoid this obstacle the next time. If we're too busy judging ourselves and getting into all that mind drama, then we can't be objective and we can't problem solve for the next time. We're shutting that area of our brain down that actually helps us access these solutions. Again, we're not denying or covering up or excusing for not following through. We're not blaming others either. We're facing it with forgiveness. Okay, I didn't blank, and this is why, and this is what I can do next time. Move on. I used to get so mad at myself if I didn't follow through with something. If I told myself I wouldn't eat blank, and then I did. Although this is not a great way to set goals around food, by the way, but more on that in future episodes. But if I had set this goal for myself and I didn't do it, I would focus on the negative of the me not following through or the me eating something I said I wouldn't, and I would get stuck in that mind drama, and this made it hard to move forward. Anyone else ever get stuck in this mind drama? What we give our attention to increases. What we give our attention to increases. So if we keep giving our attention to shaming ourselves and focusing on the lack that we have or what we're not doing, then we get more of that experience. We get more of that mind drama. If I'm focusing on, oh, I said I was going to do that HIIT workout 3 times last week and I only did it 2. I'm never going to get to the 3 times. I always start out great and then I falter, or I didn't listen to that week's module. Oh my gosh, here I go again. Stop. Forgive yourself. Don't keep telling yourself a negative story about it. Move on. My clients tend to get in that shame game the first time they don't follow through with an action step or the first time they face an obstacle. I let them express their thoughts and feelings, and then we get to work on the questions and the thinking that will actually help them. So when people join one of my programs, they quickly realize this is not like anything that they have done before, and it helps them relax. This isn't about not messing up or about having someone push you so that you don't mess up. We don't make excuses. We don't shame. We forgive. We get curious and move on. And if we want to establish habits, these things that we just do around feeling a little healthier and a little more balanced, then one of the steps to take is forgiving ourselves when we don't follow through. So I've said before that my business is a reflection of how my dad lived his life. And he was excellent at forgiveness and not holding a grudge, at not replaying old mistakes that someone made, at not just letting me live in that self-pity and that, negative spot. When I was a teenager, I made, some teenager mistakes, and he didn't dwell on the mistake itself. He acknowledged it, and we moved on. I remember once I had some driving mistakes. I'm not the greatest at backing up. I'm still not at age 53. And I remember backing out of our driveway, and we lived on a dead end, and there was a dead end sign. And I don't know how I did it, but I just backed into it, and it dented the car, and I was all upset and crying and just, and when my dad came home from work, he acknowledged the mistake, and then we moved right into how we were going to fix it and what I needed to do, and we just moved on, and there was no drama around it. There was no, how did you do that? And I'm still thinking, how in the world did I manage to do that with mirrors and whatever? But he forgave me, and we just moved on to what we needed to do next. And that happened so many times in my teenage life with my dad, where I would make this mistake and we moved on. We moved on. I would like to offer this to you right now. For all the diets you've started and stopped, for all the exercise programs that you've not followed through, for all the cleanses you've done, for all the New Year's resolutions you've ever set, whatever you may have done in the past or said you wanted to do and not followed through or did not get the results you wanted, let it go. Let it go. Forgive yourself and get curious. Why didn't it work? If you're not sure and you're like, I don't know, I don't want to keep repeating these things. I'll forgive myself, but I got to move on. If you're not sure what went wrong or what to do, set up a call with me and we can chat about it. I give free consultation calls. No pressure. Just go to my website, coachingcanhelp.com. The link will be in the show notes, and set that up. If a consult call doesn't sound like a good choice for you right now, then please just forgive yourself. Let go of that mind drama, those stories you've been telling yourself. You can make progress in your health. You can take simple steps to healthier, more balanced living, regardless of how many times you've tried to do it in the past and it hasn't worked. Forgive yourself. You are worth the time and effort and financial resources to take the simple steps and start again. You do not have to continue to repeat your same story. Let go of past mistakes. Learn from them, get curious, and keep progressing. This time can be different. And remember, keep it simple, keep it real, and I will catch you in next week's episode.